Hello and welcome to Washington Live, powered by KCTC. I'm your host, Todd Patterson. Joined in the studio by our producer, the one and only Mr. Nick Steffens.
Oh, a little flair this time.
A little flair.
Yeah, usually people don't give me the flair, so I appreciate it.
I don't want you to get cocky about it. Our publisher is Matt Bryant, and I'm very excited today to be joined in the studio by Melanie Larson, Mel, who is my trainer. And we're going to be talking to Mel a little bit later on about some healthy lifestyles, some fitness, a little bit about bodybuilding. Mel's the last maybe 18 months or so, you got your pro card in the sport. And I think that's an interesting journey that I'd like to chat with you a little bit about. So looking forward to that. So what do we want to start with here, Nick? You want to start with weather?
Yeah, we should start with that. It's pretty boring. So
it's 22. It's 22 and sunny.
Yeah.
And so that's about all I know about that. What's going on in the local event area?
I printed a piece of what the day is the 10th. So is there anything around the 10th?
Yes, there is. Potholder weaving for adults at the Washington Public Library from noon to 1 today. So you've got about 2 hours to get there. Make and take your potholder for free. You want me to tell a joke?
Sure.
All right.
Is it about potholders?
Yes, it's relevant to that.
Perfect.
Why do they call roach clips roach clips? Do you know what a roach clip is?
Yeah, I don't know why they call them that.
Because potholder was already taken.
That is a good one.
Do you want to have that be the joke of the day and not the one we just watched?
Well, I already edited the one for today, so might as well.
So that's local events. We want to talk about police report?
Yeah, there's some pretty good stuff in there, I think.
So police report, we had 13 traffic stops, 8 weather-related, 4 theft, 52 total offenses. And Mel, you're involved in probably some of these, would you say?
Probably on the other end of it, yes.
so
I get the original usually, and then I pass that on.
So your day job? Tell us a little bit about what you do.
I'm a 911 dispatcher, and I'm on 22nd year now. So
okay,
yeah, so it's interesting.
So on February 8th, there was a vandalism criminal mischief claim. Caller reports someone cut their garage lock. Nothing out of place. On the 9th, which was that yesterday?
Yes.
Caller reports that they have a semi that is broken down at the auto parts store. It's ironic.
Yeah.
They do have help on the way, but it's going to be a while. So,
or in the read the last part.
A neighbor to the area did call in regarding the semi being parked there idling. Deputies advises there was no excessive noise.
Which, if you watch Wednesday's episode, he also called in because apparently they were being too loud when they were unloading a truck. So I think this guy's just a grumpy old man.
One time we got Aces and Eights was rehearsing outside and we got shut down for a noise complaint. Yeah.
That's not very punk of you guys to...
We just folded right up and left. Yeah, we didn't test it. It was Chief Lester came over, and so I think we probably got him lunch. Also yesterday, a male in an Amazon vest came to the subject's door with a package that belongs to her neighbor. He was driving a little black car. She pointed him in the direction, but he never delivered the package. Seems suspicious.
It's like the beginning of a Home Alone, like...
Do you think there was a case out? They were casing out the thing?
Apparently, the cops got to the guy and they said he was official, but I don't know. Sounds like a Joe Pesci and Home Alone type situation.
I feel like the neighbor didn't get her package.
That's true.
So that's the big crime there. What else we got going on?
How did the show go at the library yesterday?
Well, I think that there was a lot of cancellations due to the weather. We had.
No, I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
We were hoping for like a standing room only type crowd, but I would say probably about half of what we were anticipating showed up. But the people who were there seemed to enjoy it. That's good. My hands are swollen from playing cajon. Not a medical condition.
I'm glad.
so am I.
Well, that's good.
It was good. And I don't know, they had that Galentine's Day event, so I don't know how that went. It's kind of a shopping extravaganza.
Yeah, I'm trying to petition for a Broentine Day as well.
A what?
It's Galentine's. I feel like the guys need something.
Oh.
Well, I guess guy.
I didn't understand what that meant. Now I get it.
Like gal. So
I get it now.
Yeah, I think us men need a day to shop, you know?
Broentine sounds cool. I like that. Broentine.
Broentine?
Yeah.
Broentine.
I think that would be less popular, if I'm being honest with you, to have a bunch of guys up on the square shopping.
Yeah.
For their women.
For their
Yes.
fair point.
I guess that is a good point. I was thinking about myself, but okay.
I would shop at the local restaurants. That would be, I'm more of a food shopper.
Did you get your Valentine's Day shopping done?
I have started. We had Kelowna chocolates were at the hospital yesterday, so I procured
stuffed them in
and
your
have
pockets
already delivered some Kelowna chocolates to my wife. So
that's good.
I'll probably need to do a little bit more, but I haven't quite figured that out yet.
That's what I did last night. So you're not
You
alone.
did chocolates last night?
Oh no, I finished getting a gift for Jade last night because I'm seeing her tonight.
Okay.
So.
I have another joke for you on this
Perfect.
front. So my wife always complains that I don't buy her flowers. Mm-hmm. But to be honest with you, I didn't know she sold flowers.
That's a good one.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and cut to a commercial, and then when we come back, we'll be joined by Melanie Larson, who is a dispatcher by day, trainer by night, and also a really, really good bodybuilder. So we'll...
Federation Bank is a locally owned bank providing award-winning customer service. We believe that we are more than just a federation of banks, but a federation of communities, serving Brighton, Richland, Wellman, and Washington, Iowa. Federation Bank's highly skilled staff is here to make sure you are able to accomplish your personal and professional goals, whatever they may be. Federation Bank, your family bank.
Hospice isn't a place, it's a type of care that focuses on living. Servicing a 7-county area, the Hospice of Washington County staff of nurses, social work, hospice aides, spiritual and grief support, volunteers, music and massage therapists are able to provide free end-of-life care where the patient lives. We write wills, give consent for organ donation, but rarely is there a plan for what we would want the final phase of our lives. At Hospice of Washington County, we encourage our patients to be in charge of their healthcare decisions while maintaining quality of life.
Family owned and operated by Andy and Sarah Ross. Ross Auto has been your vehicle repair and maintenance headquarters since 1935. We specialize in all makes of cars and light-duty trucks. With our variety of available services, let us help you keep rolling and your vehicle operating efficiently. Services include general auto repair, alignments, brakes, fuel injection, and more. Schedule your appointment today at 319-653-5656. That's 319-653-5656.
Hey, Andrea, what's the difference between a poorly dressed man on a tricycle and a well-dressed man on a bicycle? A tire.
Where do you get these?
Well, welcome back to Washington Live. I'm your host, Todd Patterson, joined by our producer, Nick Steffens, and my favorite trainer, Melanie Larson. So I actually have been training with Mel. It's been a year and a few months.
Yeah.
So it's made a huge difference. One thing I should say is, especially during the COVID experience, which if we're in hospital work at the time, was a pretty difficult time. We're working a lot of hours and eating poorly, and I put on probably 30 some pounds during that time, and so one of the things I wanted to do, one day I was tying my shoes and I felt like I was going to pass out because I couldn't breathe, and so I thought, you know what, I got to do something different, and so I started doing some things at the Y, and then I got turned on to Mel, and that's how I started working with you. it wasn't long after, to be honest with you, I lost almost all that weight and have been working hard to keep that off. So thank you, first of all, and that's the kind of impact it's had for me. But why don't you tell us a little bit about, how you got into kind of the fitness and health lifestyle, and in particular, maybe how you got into bodybuilding.
Sure, yeah. So surprisingly enough, when I was 7, I actually took an interest into bodybuilding. My dad had a gym down in our basement, and he was an avid bodybuilder, if you would. He never competed, but that was his lifestyle. He enjoyed doing that, and I looked up to him. And so he taught me a lot of the ropes growing up with weightlifting and the proper form. And I remember we'd always sit down and we would look through the muscle and fitness magazines, and we would look at the kinesiology pages, and it kind of told us a little bit more about our bodies. And even though I was little, it still intrigued me. And so growing up, I just kind of followed in my dad's footsteps, and we'd work out together. And then throughout my junior high and high school years of playing sports, I would still weightlift. And back then, which was a while ago, it was kind of frowned upon for women, if you will, to have any kind of muscular stature. So there was I had some people that would make comments, but I didn't let it bog me down because, I had my goal in life that I wanted to be a female bodybuilder. Corey Everson was one that I looked up to. And so in the back of my mind, I'm like, I'm still going to pursue this, and I'm going to show them wrong. So fast forwarding, I did my first show in 2003. And then I followed 7 years later, did another show in 2010. Then I took some time off, and I continued with the fitness passion of working out. I taught classes at the Y for about 10 years. And then just helping them in the classroom setting. I thought, let's dive into this a little bit deeper and do some one-on-one personal training sessions. So I got my certification about 4 years ago or so, and started personal training, and that's done really well. I now train all of my clients at Brick House Barbell here in town, and I have my own LLC, so I named that business Inspire Fitness. I did that actually after I got my pro card. So I did a show in, COVID was tough. I did a lot of at-home workouts, but that got me through to, I did my first show the end of April of 2021 at the NPC level, and then I wanted to always earn my pro card at a natural division. So I wanted to be, I wanted to have my pro card at a natural level. So a week later, I did another show, and that's where I earned my pro card in bodybuilding.
So maybe, I'm interested in the natural versus whatever the alternative is. We can come back to that in a second, but maybe you could talk a little bit about, obviously it's kind of a lifetime pursuit. Like it's not something you just start, but maybe you could talk a little bit about how you prepare for the months leading up to a show, and what kind of rigorous activity and
absolutely
things you have to do, because it's very, very tough.
It is, yes. So first and foremost, I always say you have to be 110% committed to wanting to do a show. I mean, your life revolves around it, day in, day out. So that was first and foremost. I knew that I wanted to do another show, and so I started about 19 weeks ahead of the show in what they call prep. And I reached out to a very knowledgeable coach who is amazing to this day. And he helped me on my journey. Amazing coach. He's from Nebraska. But he knew my body better than I did, had me dialed in right up to where I needed to be for the show. But yeah, it's eating routinely, the proper macros that you need. It's the daily exercise. It's the proper training. It's adequate sleep. You don't get enough sleep, then your body goes into stress. So there's a lot of factors that play into that, on top of not already, working several jobs that I had. So it was kind of brutal, but it's what I wanted to do, and I got to where I needed to be. So
yeah, and it was pretty amazing. I remember seeing some pictures of that particular competition. So can you talk a little bit about, like in particular in women's bodybuilding, the kind of the categories that you can compete in, and maybe what did you what did you do in particular, and talk a little bit about getting your pro card and what that actually means.
Yeah, you bet. So there are several different classes, if you will, for female bodybuilding. My first 2 shows that I did was just strictly bodybuilding. And again, that was many, many years ago. Now they've kind of expanded those classes, and they have a bikini class, they have a figure class, they have a fitness class, they have a physique class, they have a bodybuilding class, and they have a wellness class. I think that may have covered all of them. So my first two were bodybuilding, and actually the reason why I switched to doing physique the last two shows was because women's bodybuilding has dwindled away. Like, you don't see in this area very many women's bodybuilding. It's mostly bikini, it's mostly figure, some physique, and now wellness is kind of taking off. So that's where I aimed what class I wanted to do was more of the physique. There's just different things within a woman's physique, if you will, that the judges look for each class. So
I know very little about it.
and I don't know much about the other ones. I just know the two that I did and what they were looking for.
So you competed, and as we mentioned a couple times, you got your pro card. So what does that mean in terms of what that means in terms of the show itself? Like, what does that mean that you did, and then what does it mean going forward for you also?
Okay, so I did my show that actually allowed me to compete in a that's the word I'm trying to use. The show that I did, it allowed me to, okay, if you're going to compete in this one, you have your chance of earning your pro card. So I won that in my class, and because I did it at a natural level, they right away pull you off stage, and you have to do a urinalysis to make sure that there's no enhancement of drugs in your system. And also the night before, you do a polygraph test just to make sure that, you're legit,
Wow.
So, yeah. A lot of people don't know that. Versus the other shows that I did were NPC for National Physique Committee. The women and men, the competitors, can have enhancement. Something I've never done. I've just felt that I want to work 100% at where I get and earn every penny of it.
So I guess that's something I've only known about kind of in the last year or so, but there's like natural, and then you can do whatever you want.
I guess. I don't really know the ins and outs of that, Todd, to be honest with you. But yes, you can have the enhancement drugs, if you will, to get you where you need to be.
Grow.
So I did
or shrink things.
Right. So I did compete against other competitors that potentially were with the enhancements until I went to NAMBITH, which was where I got it's the natural.
So then talk about what the pro card does going forward.
So now that I've got my pro card, I can compete at a professional level. I haven't done that yet. My goal is hopefully 24, 25. I'll shoot for that. Again, you got to be 110% mentally
And if we're
ready.
training together during that time, do you anticipate being in a bad mood the entire time?
No, you know what? This last prep that I did, it was amazing. I felt really good. I don't think that I was cranky.
I don't know. We'll see. I'll let you know.
I felt great. So I don't think compared to my other ones that I did, I think I had the right tools to help me. So.
Right. Well, I think let's take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we will finish up our talk with Mel. It's been very interesting so far.
Since 1905, Kelowna Cooperative Technology Company has helped our community stay connected with the latest advancements in clear, dependable telecommunications services. KCTC provides rural Iowans with access to high-speed fiber internet, as well as phone, television, computer repair, and cybersecurity solutions. We're also proud supporters of local organizations and area schools within the community. KCTC, keeping Kelowna connected.
At the Capper Auto Group, we put our customers' needs first and understand that everyone is as different as the vehicle they select. We offer new Ford, Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge, and Ram vehicles in a friendly environment that puts you in the driver's seat. When it comes to service, we maintain factory-trained technicians and competitive pricing. The Capper Auto Group still believes that service after the sale provides the best customer experience. Come see the Capper experience for yourself. Tammy takes the time and has the personal interest in each one of us. I don't worry about what's going to happen because I know my policy is taken care of.
She pulls what I need and puts it together, which is the program I get from her.
Every year she calls around September or so and says, there's changes again, and I'm going to do the best thing for you. It's been perfect. She does a great job.
Welcome back to Washington Live. I'm your host, Todd Patterson. I'm joined in the studio by Mel Larson, who is a local bodybuilder and trainer. And I'd actually like to talk to you a little bit about your training. You know, how long have you been training? What are the requirements, on you as a trainer? By the way, she's quite good at it.
Aw, thank you.
You're welcome. I didn't just say that to get a discount on my rates.
As much as you hate doing leg day, it's okay.
Actually, so quick story here. I had legs on Wednesday, and it took me a little bit to get into this chair today. It's brutal.
That's a good sign.
And I think, you've got a good rapport with your trainer if you can complain the entire time.
And he does.
And I do. I hate, especially leg day, which, by the way, every day seems about like leg day. So
It's the running joke we have with everybody else in the gym. Guess what? It's leg day. And guess what? Mel's got me doing legs today, which is not true, but
well, it's not untrue. So what is it? What does it mean to be a trainer? What do you have to do? And also maybe what advice do you have for people who are maybe wanting? I mean, getting in shape is like always a thing people are wanting to do. Right. How do they start that, and how do they keep it going? How do they not get frustrated? And
So as far as the training goes, there is several different options out there as far as getting your personal training certification. Mine I did through SCW Fitness. I took a lot of classes over there in person. I did every year and a half. It was 2 full days of just fitness classes back to back, learning things and incorporated within my class that I teach at the Y. And then I decided I'd go with that company to get my certification in personal training, and you have to keep up with, I believe it's 20 hours of CEUs every 2 years. So that's a good learning tool, keeps me fresh on knowledge with all the stuff in the fitness industry, and helps me use that with my clients as well. So you got to keep up with the 20 hours of that every 2 years, and you just recertify.
Got ya.
So, yeah.
And how long have you been training?
So I got my training certification about a little over 4 years ago.
Okay. How many clients do you typically carry?
That's a good question. With it being my part-time job, it's been so steady and so perfect because I can adjust that accordingly. And when one client's done with their sessions and they don't want to renew, then it seems like I get a new client. So it's just been very steady for me that I can handle it within my workflow with my other jobs. So
a lot.
I have about 5 or 6 at a time that I can see throughout the week. So yeah.
So advice that you have, and maybe Nick, you were mentioning something while we were off camera. So advice for people who are wanting to get into shape, and you had an interesting kind of inspirational experience that I thought was odd.
So back during the pandemic, I gained like 35 pounds because I was just inside doing class from home. I also was broke, so I needed money. And so my genius plan to get back in shape was I signed up to be a model for the figure class in the art department, which is where you're naked and they draw
complete nude model.
Completely nude model, yes, is a better way of putting it. And so I signed up because I knew in 3 months I was going to have to drop trowel in front of an entire room. Yeah. And so I got in really good shape and it worked. But then my girlfriend at the time said, I don't feel comfortable of you just, putting it out there in front of everyone. And so,
literally putting it out there.
Yeah. And so I did not go through with it. But I did lose all the way from the pandemic and like an extra 10, 15 pounds. So that's decided to be a nude model in it.
I have to say that's never occurred to me. But you were mentioning that the room was a little drafty, which would pose a significant other kind of problem.
Yeah, it almost deterred me, but powered through.
You must be very confident. Good for you. So advice to individuals that are kind of maybe they were in shape at one time, or are trying to get a little better in shape. How do you get started? And it's getting started is one thing, and that I remember the first day you go in and you're like pumped up, and you go home and you're pumped up, and then then you don't want to do it the
Right.
next time.
And that's just it. You know, I always suggest baby steps. You know, don't try to go in with these big, huge goals. I would make short-term goals, fulfill those, and kind of just broaden those as you reach them. As we know, so many people, they set New Year's resolutions, they stick to them maybe 3 or 4 months, and then they fall off the bandwagon. So I think it helps if you just set small goals for yourself. You know, I encourage 30 minutes of movement a day, at least 30 minutes of movement in some form, but consistency. You know, there's a lot of discouragement when people aren't seeing results in those 3 to 5 months. You know, a little bit here and there that they might see, but not enough to want them to stick with it.
Yeah.
So, you know, don't get discouraged. Throw the scale away. I know there's so many people who want to hop on that scale every day. Don't let that deter you from staying on the path.
I look at the scale every day.
Do you really?
Well,
Todd.
lately I have
no.
been since I've been. So Melanie's husband and I, so Kyle, her husband, and I are locked in a death battle on who can lose the most weight as a percentage of total body weight by April 1st. So it is, and he's very competitive. So we'll see how that
It's a
goes.
good battle because I know you from training you, how competitive you are, and hearing stories even outside of the gym. And I know my husband's very competitive. And so, yeah, I'm excited for both
Yeah.
of you. Of course, I'm rooting for my husband. I'm sorry, but I have to stay neutral because you
hurts.
are my client. I have to push you, but I have to push him.
The thing that hurts worse is my wife said she's also rooting for your husband.
That a girl, Dana.
Thanks, Mel. I really appreciate it. We should wrap up, and then we've got some, birthday stuff and national. Oh, we should probably say if you've got a birthday today or birthday shout out, go ahead and put it in the comments or send us an email. Really happy that you were able to be here. It was really interesting.
glad that
Thank
you
you.
invited
And
me. Thank you.
Stick around for a second.
Sure.
We'll do some national. What's the national day today?
National Umbrella Day. Day short. It should have been yesterday. Kinda.
Yesterday was the National Umbrella Day.
Well, today is National Umbrella Day, but it would have been more handy if it was
Oh,
yesterday.
yesterday would have been a better.
Yeah.
We had that snow was really wet. It's in when I used to work in the Heart and Vascular Center at the University of Iowa. That type of snow is called heart attack snow. We have when the snow is that heavy and people go out to shovel, it's much heavier than normal, and we would see somewhat of an increased incidence of coronary problems. So be careful.
Learn something new every day. I did not know that.
So that's the national day. So do you want to do the birthday game?
Yep. So to explain the rules, I'm going to put a celebrity whose birthday is today on the
I don't
screen.
know who that is.
You have to guess their age, and
I don't know who that is. What is
If you
happening?
get it within 3 years,
Do you have any celebrities that I would know?
this is the first time actually that it's all actresses. This is the first. There was someone that I almost included just for you. It was some bass guitarist from I forget what band.
Oh, he would have known that.
So I almost threw
yeah.
it in there for you, but I was like,
Yeah.
for our general audience, would they care?
Well, I don't have any idea, but I don't know. Okay.
So
Gosh,
if
I am
I'm
so
gonna-
bad at guessing
You have to guess
ages.
their age within
Okay.
3 years. You get a point. If you're right on, you get 2 points.
I guess we
Okay.
can just try
And if
it
you
by.
win, you get one of the.
Are these recent photos? Because I have no idea who these people are.
I try to pull from 2022.
I'm right there with you. It's okay. Then it's good competition right here.
So the first one is Chloe Grace Moretz, an actress.
Her?
Yes.
Okay.
She was born the same decade as me. I'll give you that hint.
Oh, I don't even know when you were born.
I'd say she's 24.
I'm going to guess 30.
She is 26. So Todd, you hop out to a 1-0 lead.
I got a 1 point. See, it's really this is tough. Who are these people? Who is this?
Next, it's Emma Roberts.
That doesn't help me. Okay.
Also in the same.
Go ahead, Mel. You can go first on this one.
I'm going to guess 38.
34.
She is 32. So Todd, pull
Gosh,
out 2-0.
see, I'm terrible at this.
If it was identify this actress,
Oh, I would lose too.
well, we
You're
would
fine.
have no.
Elizabeth Banks.
Oh,
I've seen her in
she's
movies,
kinda
but I don't
familiar.
know,
She
yeah.
was in 40-Year-Old Virgin and.
Is that what it is? Okay.
I go first on this. I'd say 45.
I would guess 42.
She is 49. So no points.
She
on
looks
that one.
amazing.
Mel must train her.
Okay, how about the last one, Laura Dern?
Yeah, from
guys-
Jurassic Park.
Yeah, you gotta know Laura Dern.
And her. Yeah. So this is your. You want me to go first, or you want? How?
I'll try on this one.
Okay.
Let's guess. I'm going to guess 65.
That would have been my guess too. 62.
She's actually only 56.
What?
Now she.
I hope she's not listening, right?
Mel, yeah, I hope Laura Dern is not out there
that's
listening. Mel
awful.
obviously doesn't train her. Well, she looks so much older. I hardly think it's
did. I
our
think it was
error.
those
Well,
wrinkles.
also, I mean, yeah, and Jurassic Park came out how many years ago? 40?
30? In the 90s, right? Probably.
Was it 90s or 80s? I don't know. I'm a child. I don't know.
I think it was in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Todd, you win 2-0. You guys
You
accept
can
the
take
trophy.
it anyway. I'm going to donate my.
Because you probably have like a whole shelf of those at home.
I don't
Every
win
time.
that game very often, but that's the first time I literally have not really known any of the people.
Oh, okay.
Well, I think it helped that you didn't know any of them, so you're just, guessing.
Going by
That was a lucky
appearance,
guess, yeah. And my guesses were not good.
Poor Laura Dern. Wow, who would have thought? Well, I want to thank you, Nick, for producing today. I want to thank you, Mel, for being our guest.
Thank
You did
you
a
for
great
having
job.
me.
I was really enjoyed talking to you.
Thank you.
Hold on, I have.
It's labeled,
you want-
it's labeled outro.
Yeah, I know. Do you want me to say this thing?
I don't know.
Contact Julie if you want to advertise on the Southeast Iowa Union via email or 319-653-2191. And I'm your host, Todd Patterson, signing off. We'll see you soon. Have a great day.